Okay, Simen Kufnun Tess, continuing in Hilchos Nida. Dina Levishas Alibun, the Spheres on the Kiyah. So, Levishas Alibun means wearing white and counting the 7 clean days. By Yud Sifim, and there's 10 Sifim. So, Kol Isha Sharasa Dam Bimei Tarasa. Any woman who sees Dam when she's pure, Tzricha Limnes Chamisha Yamim. So, first thing you got to do is count 5 days. Im Yom Zeh, with the day that she sees. Ta'anu Yom Hariyah, the day that she sees, Va'oid Arba Yom, and then 4. So it's 1, meaning whatever time of the day she sees until Shkia is 1, which is about to say, and then another 4. Even if she sees the end of the day, she's following alcohol. V'gam hi arbas, even if she sees, let's say you go to Plag Ma'ariv, and the whole keel already davened. Oh, Kiblu Shabbos, or they were Makabal Shabbos, and Madain who Yom, it's still day, Oilalog, Yom Zeh, the minion, so then this counts for her, for the minion, it counts as 1 day, even though once you dive minor, so it's already saying it's the next day. Right? So it still counts. And on the 5th day and the evening before Ben Hashmashas Tilda Gazaz, she should check herself hated well, she should wash herself in the lower face is the literal translation, right? And the tilbash sinus lavan, she should wear white, v'naki and clean, v'gam shar begadim unikim, and all the rest of her begadim should also be clean. V'zednikra hefsektara, that is called, but that's what we call the hefsektara, that has to be done before shkia. Even though he doesn't prefer to say that she should be wearing white, he says that it should be clean. Right? Fine. So that's all the hefsek tar. Now, even though the checking is really no different than any other check, it's just the name of it. And at night she should also put white linen on her bed, v'naki and clean. See, so here he says she does need white linen. So
he says before, Ksainis love and v'naki.
What?
He says before, Silvas Ksainis love and v'naki.
Oh, he does. He does say love. Yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. I thought he left out the word. I thought he said in the beginning and not later. Oh yeah, thank you. So it's interesting because it's a Ramah that says love on them. The Mechaber doesn't say it, which would mean that Sfardim don't have this meaning. Okay, we'll get back to that. Okay, so at night you should also put on white linen that's clean. V'gam akarma ksas is kulam unikim. And you got to make sure here he doesn't say white, right? The pillowcases, they should also be clean. Now you think, what does that have to do? Who cares about what's going on with the pillowcases? But we're afraid if these things get moved around. The next day, Mascheles, Lispar, Zayin Nikim. The next day is the first day of the Zayin Nikim. Doesn't make a difference how much is being seen. It's a lot or a little. She sees only 1 drop. Aisha Matzah Rak Kesem, we made Tarasa. She even just sees a stain. He always need to wait 5 days before you start the 7. Even if she's been seeing Dam all 5 days, Elishapaska kind Ben Hashmashas, you didn't have Siktara before Ben Hashmashas. Miyad La'achar Shapaska Dam, Yechada Lahav Siktara, she could do have Siktara. As long as she stops before Shkia, she could do have Siktara. Fine. Now with the white linen, so the question is nowadays that women wear underwear. So is there any point in having white linen on the bed? She's wearing white underwear anyway. So if she's not wearing underwear, so then she definitely needs white. But the question is if she is. So Ramosha Feinstein writes in the Tshuva that he says really you don't need it, but the minig is to do it. So therefore he says you should do it. I think based on my experience of dealing with this stuff all day and all night, I think most women do not use a white sheet. Maybe in the beginning of the marriage they do, but then they burn out of the whole thing. At least that part. Okay, base. Shasatchak going sheet b'deref. Let's say she's traveling. She has no water because we said she's supposed to wash herself. So she has no water. I feel a little bit then she doesn't even have enough water to just wash herself. It doesn't stop you from being able to have siktara. She should clean herself well, as much as she can. As strange as that sounds, she could use her own meraglayim and clean herself that way. That's good. And let's say she doesn't have white. She could wear an older clothing, older underwear, not necessarily clean, not white. So then whether she could, as long as it doesn't, she has to know that there's no summon of blood on it. And there's a lot of controversy there because here he's saying that you don't need, you need white, but if you don't have it, so you wear color and you're okay. Question is, can you wear the color lechatchila if a woman knows that she's staining? It's going to be very difficult for her to get to the Shabbat. So can she wear color? That's one. Ramesh finds that as a tshuva seems to say that she could wear color if she's staining. I spoke to Rav David Feinstein myself about it, and he said no way. So I don't know if he was disagreeing with his father, which he did. He didn't have a problem disagreeing with his father on things, or he was learning it, or I was learning it incorrectly. But I don't know. But that's so he wasn't allowing it. The shaila is in the Shabbat Akim, can you wear a pad? Because the pad is white, and a pad is not makabel tuma. So it has the same leniencies as seeing on color. So if we allow pads during 7 clean days, then the whole staining, unless it's very large, becomes a non-issue. So we definitely allow it if it's been either or she has irritations and stuff. We definitely allow it. The question is, do we allow it lechatchila? For that, you should ask your local non-Orthodox rabbi. You probably get a much faster heter than the local Orthodox rabbi. Okay, but you got to know to ask. Gimel. Yeshayrim. Alcohol harvest. If the tzibur already down with my rib, even though even though it's still day, like the plug minyanim, she can no longer count to have siktara, and I think that she start the 7 clean days the next day. Once the tzibur already daven plug, so that means they're saying that it's night. But some say that it's mutter b'afilu also called Shabbos, even if the tzibur made Shabbos. You should be careful of the That's why when us do have siktara on a Friday night and they're making early Shabbos, she should do it before early Shabbos if she can. We're not machmer. As long as it's not ben hashmashas. Now, that's also an issue. What do you call kaidem ben hashmashas? Because we're machmer that shki is the end of the day. But bottom line is, Rabbeinu Tam holds it's not shki is not till an hour later, and there's a lot of other places that go with that. So Ramosha has a tshuva. He says up to 9 minutes after shkia, you could be makel to do hafsiktara. Because of a sveka. Some say Ramosha told people that even 13, 14 minutes he'd be makel. And then there are yet others that say that Ramosha wrote it in the tshuva, but he was never makel in person. So I don't know. Go figure. The lechatchila though is that it should really be done by shkia. But let's say she davened ma'ariv already. The koshke should leak her nearest the Shabbos al but she already lit Shabbos and Yom Tov. Hold on a second. I'm getting a text from the big file, so I'll hold. If somebody would ask a question, I would be able to answer it while we were talking, but nobody asked any questions. Okay, but if she davened already, in gam he spal harvest because she can't think of nearest the Shabbos al Yom Tov, and she already bench licht. Alpha P Shadayin Yom Gadol, even though it's still the middle of the day, any you are not allowed to be mafsik in Tara. As far as I know, we don't. Most don't pass like that. Bekayetz asher baharbe kihilas mispalin arbes b'day Yom Gadol. So in the summer, when many kehilas daven early, She tzricha lechatchil la'afsik b'tara kadim l'chein k'mashin l'sbar, and she's supposed to do the hefsek tara before, like we explained. As like shegia somewhat lebein hashmashas, when you get close to bein hashmashas, yeshel litek esatzma oidapam, she should check herself again. Ki ikar hefsek tara hi be'isa yosef somewhat lebein hashmashas. Meaning, even though she checks early before the plug, but she should check herself again because lechatchila that's what we want her to check closer to shkia. If she didn't check herself a second time, ain't la'akbid, we're not marking her. If you do like what's a tire? She checks herself in the morning and she was good. That's okay. There's almost the day doesn't go by that I get a shayla from a woman who forgot to do the Tara, did it 15, 20 minutes later, and they're not aware that they're supposed to do it early. If they see that they're clean earlier in the day, they should check earlier in the day in case they forget to do it again later. It's a very important terminology that's used here. He's taking the terminology from Shulchan Aruch, saying that a person should teach in his house, meaning he should teach his wife, the hachmer lechatchila shetehei bedikas hefsek taharas and b'march dachuk. The march dachuk makes another bedika cloth that she puts inside her from shkia until tzeis. She has sham kol ben hashmashas, and it should be there the entire ben hashmashas. Shebedika zu matzia b'dei kol suffik, because then that bedika takes her out of every suffik. Now the reason why the terminology is important is because it's a chumra lechatchila, meaning it's not a pure requirement. So therefore, we are very makel, depending on all the various situations. We are very makel to be lenient on this because most of the time it's not an ikra din. Most of the time it's just a chumra. Hey, yesh mekabes nugget shemazman lemisha is the one who for Shabbos and Yom Tov. There are those that are knowing that if the 7 clean days, the Shabbos and Yom Tov, teichen ad la'achar kach, you push it off till after. Meaning there's no hefsek taras done on Shabbos and Yom Tov because there's a chashash for mikvah that they're gonna be over on schita. And places that are makel, if she could wash cold, then she could wash even her entire body. If it's hot water, then she can only wash in that area between her thighs. Um, right. So then, but even the hot water, obviously you can't heat up the hot water on Shabbos. But would better Shabbos, better Yom Tov. Yeah, she has to be careful. She could only wash with her with her hands. Meaning you can't use like a washcloth or anything like that. Can a woman wet a badika cloth? So most places can say no. Rav Shmuel Kamenetsky in his sefer says that she could slightly wet it. Okay, but on Yom Kippur she has to have siktara. Then she shouldn't wash at all. She'd wipe herself very well. It's a shasatchak, but she's also a chitza. And she should wear a white clothing. The test you may avail if it's Tisha B'Av or it's during if she's in Avelos, she shouldn't wash, she should only wipe herself. She should not wear white, she should only wear old. That's checked. Because he's saying you don't want her to put on new clothing. I think we're pretty makel with that too. Shiva, but after Shiva, even though somebody who's in Avelos cannot wash the whole 30 days, right? But she's allowed to wash in order to wear white, and then she could wear white clothing. That's in Shloshim, not in Shiva. Again, according to the Kitzur. Every day of the Shiva Nikiyim, she needs to check herself twice a day. One in the morning and one which is his terminology for close to Shkia. With the ever afilu like vodka rak pamachas b'yam rishon. With the ever, if she checks one on day 1, pamachas b'yam shvi, and one on day 7 yesh lahakol, you can be mekel. The dafka b'yam aleph b'yam zayin. That's dafka on first and 7th day. On vodka b'yam aleph b'yam ches. Let's say she does 1 and then she forgets day 7, and her next kedika is in yom ches. Ein la ela yom ches b'vad. Then all she has is the 8. Tzicha lahaisif oid and then she's going to have to count another 7 days, because the din is that if you go more than 5 days without a bedika, so then you have to start again. Which is why a lot of times Rabbanim will tell a woman who's going to be more, they're going to be more maker with bedikas because of irritation or staining, etc. So then we say to do 1, 4, and 7, or 1, 5, and 7. There's nothing really halachically necessitating a bedika in the middle. It's 1 and 7. But if she's going to forget 7, so then doing 1 on 5 or 4 will bridge it. In case she forgets, so then she'll just, if she forgets on day 7, then she'll be able to do a b'dik on day ches, and then she can go to the mikvah. Okay.
I have a question, but stop the recording.
All right, we'll stop over there. All right. Everybody should have a fine night.